Well, I just had my hot chili with beans and now I want to have some trail mix. You want some trail mix? Well, before you have your trail mix, you have to talk about it. You have to ask and answer questions because, this is a language class. This is not an eating class, right? So we got to learn about nutrition, but we got to talk about it. We have to ask questions and we have to answer questions and we have to practice English, right? That's why you're here. That's why you're with me, with Marcia Chan, because you want to improve your listening and speaking. You want to speak clearly, pronounce well with good consonants and vowels and stress and rhythm and linking and intonation and all that really good stuff, right? So you're back for some more practice, aren't you? So we know that trail mix has a lot of ingredients. Here are the ingredients: salted roasted peanuts, raisins, M&Ms, plain chocolate candies, almonds, cashews, peanuts roasted in peanut oil and salt, raisins coated in partially hydrogenated cottonseed oil and soybean oil, M&M's plain chocolate candies, sugar, chocolate, cocoa butter, skim milk, milk fat, lactose, soy lecithin, salt, artificial flavors, sugar, cornstarch, less than 1% corn syrup, gum acacia coloring, includes red, this is dye, the colors, the M&Ms, red number 40, Lake, yellow number 6, blue number 2, Lake, yellow number 5, blue number 1, Lake, red number 40, blue number 1. I don't know what these mean, but those are dye colors. And dextrin, almonds roasted in canola and almond or safflower oil and salt, cashews roasted in peanut oil and salt. La, 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 la. I just want to eat them. I don't want to know all of that stuff. Oh, but I do. Sometimes I do. Yeah, okay. I really am interested in the nutrients that I put into my body. Aren't you? You really want to know what you put into your body, right? Okay, so let's look at the nutrition facts label. Okay, so what do you want to ask me first? The serving size? Okay, go for it. Ask me the question. Pardon me? What did you say? What is the serving size? Did you ask me that? What is the serving size? Okay, so let's look at the serving size information. It says 3 tablespoons, and then in parentheses it shows 30G. So how are we going to answer the question size? The question. How are we going to answer the question? The serving size is 3 tablespoons or 30 grams. Which one is the weight? The grams, right, 30 grams. And which one is the volume? That's the tablespoon. The tablespoon tells you how much volume there is. 3 tablespoons. So if you measure 3 tablespoons of this product and put it in your hand and go, it should weigh about 30 grams. That's before you eat it, though. Okay, so the container, let's say the container is a bag, right? That's a typical, maybe some sort of plastic bag. And you want to know how many servings there are inside of that bag. What do you ask? How many servings are there per container? Again, how many servings are there per container? And what do you say for this one? Well, look at the nutrition facts label and we see about 15, right? So how do we make the sentence? There are about 15. 50 or 15? 15, right? There are about 15 servings per container. There are about 15 servings in this bag. Okay, you want to know about calories? Okay, ask me. Ask the question. Is it how much or how many? Calories, how many? Go ahead. How many calories are there per container? No. Per serving. How many calories are there per serving? And the answer is 148. How do you see that? There are 148 calories per serving. There are 148 calories per serving. Okay, that's per serving, not per container. If we want to know about the servings per container, how do we do that? We have to do the math. We have to multiply 148 times 15, about 15. So it's going to be more than 2,000 calories, 2,200 some odd calories in the whole bag. So don't eat the whole bag all at one time, okay? Share it among your 15 friends. Or eat a little bit, a handful of it, every day, once per day for 2 weeks. Then you'll be okay. How many calories? Oh, why am I asking the question? You should ask the question. Ask about the number of calories from fat. You ask. How many calories come from fat? How many calories come from fat? Right? Okay, now what's the answer? 6-4. All right, make a sentence. 64 calories come from fat. Do we say come or comes? Come or comes? Calories is plural. All right, so if calories, the subject calories is plural, then the verb has no S. Okay, so 64 calories come from fat. Good. Now, let's ask a question about the total fat. How much? How many? Non-count? How much total fat is there in one serving? Again. How much total fat is there in one serving? And the answer? There's 7. Okay, or there are 7 grams. There are 7 grams of total fat in one serving. There are 7 grams of total fat in one serving. Ask about cholesterol. How much cholesterol is there in one serving? Whole sentence now. How much cholesterol is there in one serving? Okay, so it says 0 mg. How do we answer? There's no cholesterol. There's no cholesterol in this product. There's no cholesterol in this trail mix. Okay, do you know why it's called trail mix? I'll tell you why. Because eating these types of nuts and the chocolate candy, it's a good thing to have a little bit of salty and protein from the nuts and sugar from the candy as you are hiking on the trail. So trail mix is typically used when we're hiking on a trail. Okay, now ask me a question about sodium. Okay, so we can say, how much sodium is there in one serving? Or we can say, how much sodium does one serving contain? Both of them are correct. How much sodium is there in one serving? Or how much sodium does one serving contain? All right, let's use the word contain. Does one serving contain? All right, let's answer the sentence using the verb contain. And we have the answer is 39 mg. One serving contains 39 milligrams of sodium. One serving contains 39 milligrams of sodium. Or you can say, there are 39 grams, oh, not grams, that's way too much. There are 39 milligrams of sodium in one serving. There are 39 milligrams of sodium in one serving. Okay, now ask a question about total carbohydrate. Go ahead, you ask. How much total carbohydrate is there in one serving? Or how much total carbohydrate does one serving contain? How much total carbohydrate does one serving contain? All right, let's answer the question using the verb contain. And we have 16G. So how much is that? Is that 16, or 16? It's 16. Right. Stress the second syllable and put a sharp T on the teen. 16. All right, so we can say one serving contains 16 grams of total carbohydrate. One serving contains 16 grams of total carbohydrate. And that's the equivalent of 6% of the daily value of a person who requires only 2,000 calories per day. Ask a question about dietary fiber. Dietary fiber. Use the word contain. How much dietary fiber does one serving contain? How much dietary fiber does one serving contain? 2G. Make the answer in a complete sentence. One serving contains 2 grams of dietary fiber. Okay. Ask a question about sugars. Use the verb contain. Ask a question about protein. 4G. How much protein does one serving contain? How much protein does one serving contain? How much protein does one serving contain? And the answer is 4G. The complete sentence, please. One serving contains 4 grams of protein. One serving contains 4 grams of protein. Got that? Okay. Please ask about calcium. 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 How much of the daily value of calcium is provided by one serving? Again, how much of the daily value of calcium is provided by one serving? And the answer is 11%. 11% of the daily value of calcium is provided by one serving. 11% of the daily value of calcium is provided by one serving. Okay, let's go and eat some trail mix. But we got to go hiking too. We got to go climb some mountains. So then we will put these calories to good use. Is that a good idea?